Hey, what's happening, guys? Today I am showing you how to make low-carb keto brownies using almond flour. And these keto brownies are soft, they're chewy, they're fudgy, they're full of chocolate deliciousness. And with all that being said, these are just absolutely incredible brownies, especially when you just consider the fact that these are low-carb keto brownies. They don't look or taste anything like that. So that being said, let's get in this one and make some keto brownies. All right, so like always, we'll want to get out our food scale so we can weigh out all of our ingredients. And for today's recipe, we'll also need a large bowl, so we'll get one of those out. And the first step for making these keto brownies is making a chocolate sauce. So to make the sauce, we're going to use an entire stick of butter, which by the way is equal to a half a cup or 112 grams of butter. So we're going to cut that up into small pieces. We're going to add that to our bowl. And then we're also going to add some low carb, keto friendly chocolate chips. And more specifically, we're adding just less than a half a cup of them, which is 70 grams. By the way, I'm using the low carb chocolate chips from Lily's for my brownies. They only have 2 net carbs per serving and they taste great. If you want to check these out, there's a link in the video description below to do that. Anyways, once we've got those added to the bowl, we're just going to microwave that for 1 to 2 minutes, basically just until all of the butter is melted. And when that happens, our next step is just whisking the melted butter and chocolate chips together until a chocolate sauce forms. Once that happens, we're all set to add the rest of our dry ingredients, starting with some confectioner's erythritol. Erythritol is a keto-friendly sweetener. It has 0 net carbs and 0 calories, so it's a really great sugar replacement if you're following any kind of diet, especially a low-carb diet like keto. So for our keto brownies today, we're going to be adding about a cup or 150 grams of that stuff to our bowl. Next, we're really going to turn up the chocolate flavor in these low-carb brownies by adding just less than a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. And by the way, if you're following along with the metric measurements of the ingredients, that's going to equal to about 70 grams of cocoa powder. So of course, today's keto brownie recipe is an almond flour based keto brownie recipe. And with that being said, we're going to add a half a cup or 56 grams of blanched almond flour to our bowl. However, we're also going to add some unflavored whey protein powder as well. The protein powder has 0 carbs and it's also lower in calories than almond flour. So whenever I have the chance to replace a little bit of the flour with some protein powder, I like to do that. And with that being said, today I use 2/3 of a scoop or 20 grams of the protein powder. But if you don't have the protein powder or you don't want to use the protein powder, just replace it with more almond flour. Okay, so now we're just going to add a pinch of salt and then mix the ingredients together until a crumbly consistency develops. By the way, I actually recommend using a spatula instead of a whisk to do this, so just take note of that. So once things do start to get crumbly in there, we're just going to start adding and mixing 1 egg at a time into our bowl. And we're going to keep doing this until we've added 4 eggs into the bowl. When we've incorporated 4 eggs, that's when the brownie batter is all set. But today I decided to add a handful of walnuts into the batter as well. It's totally optional, you don't have to do this. But anyways, at this point, we're ready to get out an 8x8 dish lined with parchment paper. We're gonna coat the parchment paper with baking spray, and then we're gonna start adding the batter to the dish. So once we've got all that delicious keto brownie batter added, we're just gonna take a spatula and evenly distribute it throughout our dish. And the next step is again an optional step, but today I decided to top my keto brownies with a handful of walnuts as well. Now at this point, the brownies are ready for the oven, and we're gonna bake them at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. We'll know the brownies are done when we can insert a toothpick into the center of the dish, and instead of the toothpick just being wet, there should still be a tiny bit of brownie residue left on the toothpick. At that point, the brownies are done. We can remove them from the oven, let them cool down completely in the dish, and then check this out. This is what our low carb keto brownies end up looking like. They're fudgy, they're chewy, they're full of chocolate deliciousness, and they're just the best keto brownies you'll make using almond flour. For more information about today's keto brownie recipe, check the video description below, and I hope you guys enjoy them.